Okay, episode 20. And that's like very cool. And I'm very excited to have you on the podcast today.
Yep, thanks
Welcome.
for having me on.
Um, would you be up for like doing a quick introduction just for people that don't know you or haven't seen you kind of like take over the YouTube space over the last two
Yeah,
years?
for sure. Yeah, I'll drop a quick 30-second intro. So basically, my name's Ayman. I run a YouTube agency called TickScale, mainly working with like agencies, coaches, info, that type of space. And then we just do everything done for you. So like ideas, scripts, post-production, like the whole thing. And we have like a full in-house team that fulfills everything. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, then moved to Montreal for like 3 years, now living in Dubai. I started the agency at 17 and I'm 20 now. And yeah, that's the 30-second intro.
Love it. You how did you get the name Tick Scale?
Yeah, great question. So prospects bring this up sometimes because they think I'm like a TikTok agency. The reason why is when we started, we actually were. We were doing clipping actually way back, but we call it content repurposing. And then,
I remember your
um,
TikTok ads,
yeah,
like
that
from
was
from
funny.
like way back when.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I took Tick from TikTok and then Scale. Like I found some other dude, his company was like something Scale, and then I just clipped it together. And then I didn't want to change it,
Sick.
so I just kept it.
So, yeah, I'm like super curious to hear. Like, I remember seeing those TikTok ads and like seeing you kind of around that space. I recognize your face, and then I remember like starting to see some of your content, um, with YouTube, and I've been waiting for someone to start like a YouTube agency because at the time it was like not a thing at all, and now you've made it a lot more popular. Um, but how did you get into online business? Like, how did you start?
Yeah. So what happened was I was really sick of living in Montreal. So this was around like January 2022. I decided like, okay, I need to like start making money so I can move back to Vancouver. That was actually the original plan. So I was in college
Crazy.
at the time and then I tried drop shipping, but then my Facebook account got banned. And then I tried my first agency, which was it was like marketing for electricians and like website design, but I did no outreach. I did like two outreaches. I spent like 2, 3 weeks on my website and my logo, and then like I quit, funny enough, which is like the number one rookie mistake. And then after the summer, I tried again in September with another agency. And then this time, like I was doing a bit of outreach, and I also tried to hire my friends on commission only to do like cold calls as well. That didn't work out. And then again, after like 45 days, I quit. And then come around to November 25th, 2022, which is when I started this agency TickScale, I like made the conscious decision. I was like, I'm gonna run this agency like till I die, like I'm gonna like make it work. I made like the mental commitment basically because what
Let's
I
go.
saw on Twitter, which is the main platform I was active on, is like there was so many other short form content agencies and
Mm,
it was working and they were making money and I was like, okay, they're human, I'm human. If they can do it,
mm,
so can I. And then I just
yeah.
ripped it. I got like first client in 23 days and then we scaled up from there.
It seems that like a lot of people have that kind of switch where at some point they realize like, oh, this is actually real. Like you can actually build a career out of this. And then that commitment's made. What do you think triggers it?
Yeah, I think it's like either you need some sort of external thing happens, like maybe it's like, oh, you need to make money or else you're gonna get evicted out of your house, or maybe like a family member needs money, or it's just
Yeah.
you get too sick of your current situation. So like for me, I was like in
Hmm.
school for a while and then it was like snowing super hard and like I hated it. So it was like a
Yeah.
combination of that. Yeah.
You know
That's
what's
cool.
crazy about you and I have like the exact like carbon copy because I did drop shipping and then I did an
Yeah.
agency for probably like 30, 60 days. And I don't know, I think it was the car detailing and repair niche. And then I switched over to gyms, failed that for another 60 days, and then got into what I do now and then took off.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's
Crazy.
like a goated story.
Yeah, for sure. Most people always try like drop shipping and then they end up either they keep doing that or they end up in agency. I mean, there's only like so many ways to make online money. So,
It's
yeah.
the agency arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like where are you today? Like you've gotten you've been doing this for a few years. Like you've worked with quite a few people now. Like what are you kind of what are priorities for you? What does the next few years look like?
Yeah, for sure. So what's actively happening right now is like how we've been running the company is just we've been one big pod, but we got to the point where it's like I didn't know how many clients would like fill the pod or like what was actually our capacity because we would always hang around like 20, 25 clients, like just kind of like just
Hmm.
chilling over there. And then I was like, I made the conscious decision. I was like, okay, I want to scale up and I want to see
Yeah.
how far we can like push this. So I pushed it. I started posting more on YouTube, more on Twitter, all my organic channels, and then even did a little bit of paid ad stuff, which I'm still trying to crack. And then we've scaled up now to like more clients. And then I see the stress levels on the team where it's like, okay, cool. Now I know this is how many clients like this strategist can handle and these
Hmm.
editors and so on and so forth. Excuse me. So now what we're doing, the priority is I'm duplicating everyone. So I'm like
Yeah.
creating that second pod. And like I've now effective Monday, we'll have duplicated everyone. Like the last person we're onboarding is like our second strategist who starts on Monday. And then we have to
Yeah.
ramp him up. So that's like the main sort of focus right now. And then in terms of like the next few years, I don't really like thinking like too far ahead because things just change like so constantly, as you've
Yeah.
seen with like AI and all of these things. So I just usually plan out like 1 year ahead and then just take things like 1 year at a time. And
Hmm.
one huge, I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but like the main big thing I learned like this year is just like focus because
Hmm.
for a long time I was like splitting my focus between two businesses. I had a coaching program where I coached like 100 plus content agencies, mix of YouTube and short form. I created a ton of them. And then obviously my agency. But what
You
happened was when I
spawned
was
so many competitors.
yeah, I did. It's cool. I got bored because there was no good competition, so I had to create them. But basically, I was splitting my focus, and what would happen was when I would market the coaching program, like obviously the agency lead flow would go down because I would get all my clients from organic.
Hmm.
So now we're just
Hmm.
marketing the agency, and I basically just like I still run the program, like it's still open, but I don't market it. It's just like if
Yeah.
someone wants it, like it's there, but I'm probably gonna shut it down soon just because I don't want to keep creating more YouTube agencies.
You are the first person that I've spoken to now so far that is shutting down a coaching program to continue with the business that they were actually coaching.
Really?
Um, yeah, I think there's definitely more, but like, that's cool. Why, like, so why are you bullish on agencies?
Yeah, so agency's so great because it's the lifetime value. Like with the coaching
Hmm.
program, like I'm open about this. Like we were charging like at first 4,000 and then 5,800. And for the
Hmm.
value we're providing, that's like super low, but that's just what they can monetarily afford and what makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it's like with the agency, it's like we're charging that as like retainers almost.
Yep.
So it's like it was the LTV thing, and then also with like I really like building teams and then just seeing things run like without me, and that's something I can do with the agency. Of course, for coaching,
Hmm.
you can get like a CSM, but at the end of the day, it's like super built on your personal brand. So like people are buying you; they're not even buying the program in a sense, buying access to you. So
Hmm.
and then the other thing which we briefly touched on is like, of course, I'm spawning like competition. Like we've had people join the program at like
Hmm.
8K a month, and then 1 year later they're at like 80 grand a month. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to. Like, of course, I'm happy.
You
I'm
could be
like helping
capturing that
people.
market. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The amount of LTV I would have made would have been massive. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Um, so why do you think so many people like, you know, they get to like 30 to 50K a month with an agency and then they're like, oh, I'm starting an info product now. Like, how is that happen? That's happened at such scale now. Like 5 years ago, sure, it was starting to happen, but I feel like since 2020, it's like it's gotten insane the amount of courses and like coaches there are.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact that like the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, the software
Sure.
people look at the people with a ton of cash flow, they're like, I want to do that. The ecom people are like, oh, my margins are so bad, like I wish I had it like you. And then the agency
Yeah.
people look at the SaaS people and be like, oh, I wish I had enterprise value. So it's just like this Spider-Man meme where everyone's like pointing at each other. So it's
Yeah.
that. And then I also just think it's like due to the rising popularity, right? Like we have people like Iman now who are saying pure beginners can sell a course in a digital product.
Right.
So it's just creating a lot of people wanting to do it.
Interesting. What so okay, so like if you've created a bunch of competition, like how do you win? How do you
Yeah.
be like the I don't know, like the $100 million agency in the space?
Yeah. So to be the $100 million agency in the space, you have to continue to adapt with the times. So like long term, although I said like, I only think like 1 year ahead, like I am thinking
Yeah.
like one thing I do want to try out longer term is like an AI content studio. So that's kind of
Yeah.
like one thing, creating like AI ad creatives for people. But to answer your question more directly, you need to just constantly evolve the process and how
Yeah.
you communicate the process like publicly for your marketing. So right now, case studies, like everyone has case studies. Like every e-com agency has case studies, every YouTube agency, every email agency. So it's kind of
Hmm.
become like the norm. And then what's happening is a lot of the times prospects book calls with like multiple people. And then if they think your
Hmm.
process is the same as this person, you both have good case studies, what are they going to do 9 times out of 10 is just buy on price. And then that's just
Yeah.
like a race to the bottom. So you have to find a way to differentiate yourself like within the mechanism and what you're actually doing and fulfilling on.
Hmm.
And that's really the only way I see. And also just stacking like other deliverables like on top of what you already do, like adjacent things to it.
Right.
Quick follow-up question on that as well. What changes do you see AI making specifically in your business? Because I'm guessing there's a lot of big effects that are taking place.
Yeah, for sure. So what's going to be a huge thing long term for us is like once AI cloning gets like super good for like long form content, because right now it's good for like
Mhm.
short form. It's still not like at its best, but as soon as it gets good on long form, because then we can onboard someone, clone them, and then they don't do anything. Because right now we still need them to record for like 2 hours per month, and although it's only 2 hours per month, sometimes people still like slack on it. So as soon as we can like clone people, then it's like it's fully autonomous. They can scale it up like super well. So I think that's how AI will affect our industry a ton.
That's
Do you think
great.
there's going to be a Sora for YouTube?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think they're already like in development. Like you mean for to be able to
Yeah.
produce long form content, right?
Yeah, yeah, like that, like a new platform, like a YouTube alternative, but it lets you just like prompt generate videos yourself. And you
Hmm.
can generate like long form video, and that actually gets a decent amount of traction and users.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that'll definitely work. Like I don't know how successful like Sora's launch was in terms of like onboarding new users, but I definitely think, hey,
Hmm.
if it worked for like short form, it'll work for like YouTube, like a YouTube equivalent as well.
Yeah, makes sense. On the topic of AI content studio, are you familiar with Cursor? Like the
Uh,
like the AI coding agent?
mm-mm.
Essentially, it's like it's an IDE, which is a development environment. If you write code, um, you use these softwares to like make it easier to write in different languages, to check your code, to test your code, etc. And Cursor is like one of the fastest growing companies in history now, because they essentially launched a version of an IDE that had a chat on the right side. So you could use AI to like write specific code for you or review or plan. Um, and it can do a lot within the code base. It was one of the things that's made like software development much easier. Um, but I've seen a few versions that are like in like very early stage betas right now of like frick, what am I saying? What's the editor everyone uses? Like DaVinci or
Premiere
Adobe
Pro.
Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro, but with that same concept where you can kind of like prompt it in the side and say, hey, make these 6 edits to a video, like add 5 J cuts at the most relevant points.
Hmm.
Or generate like use VO3 to generate 5 seconds of visuals that would be great B-roll in this section, for example. Um, so I don't know if you've seen anything like that, but that seems to be like one of the ways that like AI will drastically help your workflow.
Yeah, you're actually 100% right. It completely like slipped my mind. I think the other day I saw someone talking about like some new AI editor and stuff, but I think it's in like early stages. But yeah, that'll definitely help a
Yeah.
lot because like right now, like of course one editor can only take on like roughly like 2 clients. So it's like with
Hmm.
that, we might be able to like speed up their workflow to the point where like they can take more. And then obviously we
Yeah.
know with like every human you add to a business, you're adding complexity. So then this way we can like trim things down a lot. So yeah, that plus like the AI cloning will be like the two things that'll like completely change stuff for us.
Earlier,
Go.
quick question on earlier you mentioned like being different compared to other
Mhm.
agencies. I want to touch on that real quick. Something I've noticed quite a ton that's resulted in a lot of increase in revenue is positioning us as way different compared to the rest of the market. How important would you say that is, and what are you doing to position yourself different compared to all the other content agencies out there?
Yeah, I think it's very important because it goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's like they'll just compare you, and then if they both see like, oh, it's like apples to apples, you guys are the same, then they're just gonna basically buy on price because it's like the main way people think. In terms of like how we're differentiating ourselves from like others, I can't go like too fully in depth, but like basically it comes down to just stacking more deliverables and like asking your current customer base like what do they want like on top of what we're already doing for them, and like making sure that those extra things we add actually like benefit the main thing, which is like the YouTube. So
Mhm.
yeah, like for example, if like you're an ad agency and you want to differentiate yourself from other ad agencies, you can like, instead of just making it so it's like the founder that's like the face of the ads, you can like clone him with AI and make it so he can scale to infinity. Or maybe you have some
Mhm.
sort of AI scraper that's like constantly scraping the Facebook ad library to find like the winners and the losers, and then you like add that into your pitch, and like just finding things like that to differentiate yourself. I think that's like the next play.
You spoke about the pods. I'm curious, like how are you thinking of building pods now? Are you gonna go with like, is the plan to do like 2 to 3 person pods? Are they gonna be 10 person pods where you've got one strategist and 4 editors and 2 quality checkers? Or like what does that structure look like for you as you start scaling it up?
Yeah, whenever I talk about this with people, they're very surprised at how like beefy the pod is. Like there's a lot of like people in it. So basically one
Yeah.
pod consists of a video quality checker who
Yeah.
quality checks the videos, and then it consists of a strategist who comes up with the video ideas and quality checks the
Hmm.
scripts and the thumbnails. And then you have the script writer who writes the scripts, and then you have a thumbnail designer, and then you
Hmm.
have like 10 to 15 editors, and then you have one.
Holy,
Yeah,
whoa.
and then you have one operations manager, and then you have one like operations assistant. And then from there you have anywhere from like 20 to 30 clients. I don't know exactly. I'm still kind of like figuring that out, but that's
Yeah.
the how it looks.
Do you think you could do like 3 person pods, 4 person pods that each handle like 5 clients or something? Or like maybe even
The
each handle 10 clients?
The
Is it
problem is the
editing?
editors, because
Hmm.
it's a long form YouTube video. Like it takes like
Yeah.
2 to 3 days to turn around each one. So
Right.
in a week, there's only 7 days, so you can do 2 videos a week. Meaning, if you want to have 10 clients, you need 5 editors, and then you add in
Uh-huh.
all the other core people you need on the team. So that's what like beefs it up.
Right. Why do you think in pretty much like every niche, 90% of agencies suck. And like I think that's also partially the reason like they die off so quick. Like they leave the space 12 months later. Why do you think that what makes agencies suck in the YouTube space?
Yeah. What makes agencies suck in the YouTube space is really like they don't have the YouTube skill, particularly in ideation and also how they're packaging the videos. So like we
Yeah.
touched on this before we hit record, like what a lot of agencies and even people trying to do YouTube themselves, what they're doing is they just go to YouTube, find like a Hormozy video that did super well, and then just like repurposing the outlier. That's like what they say. So if a video has like a 20x outlier, it means it performed 20 times better than the average on that channel. So if the channel
Right.
averages 1,000 views, but this video got 20,000 views, it's a 20x outlier, which is good. So then they take that video format and try to repurpose it to bring it to their channel. But the problem is if you keep doing this, your channel basically becomes like AI slop. It's like outlier slop. It's like a
Oh,
channel isn't
you're just
isn't
copying everyone
really,
else.
yeah, you're copying everyone else
Yeah.
and you're not creating a category of one, which is like what you actually have to do. So
Right.
if we look at someone like, let's see, Cody Sanchez, like she owns the whole
Hmm.
space of like buying and selling boring businesses, like that's her thing.
Hmm.
If we look at like Dan Martell, it's like buying back your time because he like wrote that book, so that's sort of what he's like branded around. Hormozy just has a lot of share of like the whole business space as a whole. And then let's see, we
Hmm.
have like Jeremy Haynes, who's like the scale to $1 million a month, or else you're poor guy. It's like there's like
Right.
these little categories, and you need to kind of like find what that is for you and then scale within that. And it's not to say that like, oh, you shouldn't look at other YouTube channels for inspiration. It's like you should, but you need to really know how to like blend it into like your thing so you're actually you rather than just a reflection of everyone else.
Right. Interesting. So kind of like amplifying the person themselves versus a character.
Exactly. Yeah. Because people want to subscribe and follow personal brands at the end of the day. And if your personal brand is
Right.
just like a reflection of like me chasing each next trend, then it's like people won't really want to follow me. They'll probably go and follow the people who are like the trend starters. And
Yeah.
One thing that still is important though is like you don't want to try and like reinvent the wheel too hard, right? So you don't like,
Yeah.
you know, if there's like some type of format that's working for your channel, like don't try and like reinvent the wheel too hard or venture out and like stick to what works, but at the same time don't copy people too hard. Yeah.
Right. That makes
Question
sense.
from people. So, like with some clients, a question I have is, I'd assume some clients would come on and not be like the best in front of the camera or like the best film. What do you do to combat that, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. So typically when we first onboard a client, we want to make sure their gear and like their setup is right. So it's like the easiest thing to start with. They just need like an iPhone and then like a Shure mic, which is 200 bucks. And then we move into like their speaking skills. So it definitely is very important. Like if you speak very monotone and you're boring, like you will get low watch time, and watch time is the one metric that's going to push you out to more people. So how it works is like if the person has pre-existing content, we can already give them speaking skills feedback like off the bat in the form of a Loom or like on our onboarding call. But if they don't have any content, then like once we produce the first video, we'll see how they are. And then from there, we can tell them like, hey, you know, have more inflections in your voice or do this and that and just give them the feedback they need. But it's definitely a skill you pick up over time. Like a lot of people expect to just pick up the camera and then be like Daniel Dalen or like Iman. And, you know, these people have been making content for so long. Well, not Daniel, but like Iman specifically. So like, for example, like yesterday, I picked up the camera and started like vlogging, and like I never vlog. It's not even for my main channel, it's just for like personal use, but I'm still gonna edit it up and stuff. And like I know that vlog is gonna look like nowhere near a Daniel Dalen vlog or whoever, but if I don't pick up the camera today, then it'll never end up reaching that point. So you just have to
Right.
start.
It compounds, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like living in Dubai?
Yeah, so living in Dubai is very like simple. Like my life is so simple where it's like I don't even really leave the house like too much, like except like I'll hang with friends like once or twice a week, but like they live pretty
Mhm.
close to me, so I don't have to like
Mhm.
venture like across the earth. And
Yeah.
like I just got a cat like yesterday as well, so I have like a Bengal cat, which is a kitten.
A new Mr. Cat.
Yeah, new Mr. Cat because the other one's in Canada. And then so I just like chill at the crib, like work, order food, work out like in my apartment, and like I'll go for a walk like in the area, and then like that's really it. It's like very like automated and like fast and smooth, and like not too many people like bothering me, which is like what I need. The
Yeah.
only con with Dubai is the fact that like you'll always get people like flying in and then they'll text you and they'll be like, "Oh, can we meet up like here on this day?" And then maybe they're like across the map, like all the way in like Marina, and like I'm like on the
Sure.
other side, and you have to like learn how
Where
to
are
like
you? Are you like business district?
so I'm in Creek Harbor. Do you know where that is?
No. No.
So it's like a newer area, like not too many people know it, but it's 15 minutes away from downtown.
Okay,
So
gotcha. Yeah.
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 So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, you just have to learn how to say no. And this is true whether you live in Dubai or you live in Vancouver or wherever you live. It's just like there's like distractions. You have to learn that you just have to say no to them. And not that,
Mhm.
oh, you should like never hang out with anyone. It's just like you have to know, like do it like on one day of the week or, you know, like have it structured kind of. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Why why do you think some people leave? Because I like
Le-
you know like Charlie uh was in Dubai for a couple of years, but then kind of grew tired of it. Like, did he do it wrong or what happened there?
Yeah, so of course I don't know too much about Charlie's life, but I think like the problem with Charlie is like he imagined that he just had to stay here like the whole year or something like that. Like
Right.
There was this new Tate clip where he was saying because it's been trending on Twitter this whole topic of Dubai and stuff. And then Tate was saying like,
Yeah.
you know, every heavy hitter should have like Dubai like in their yearly rotation and spend like 3-4 months per year there. Use it to like
Hmm.
park your money there, use it to like work, make connections and
Hmm.
like make money and then like just leave and oh you want to go see trees and stuff like just go book a flight like you know make money so you
Right.
can just afford to like leave whenever. I think the point where people get like too caught up in their heads and they're like oh I'm getting sick of Dubai is like if they just don't leave and stay there like too long. So like that was
Right.
even like
Interesting.
partially happened to me. So like I moved here
Yeah.
December 2024 like 2 days before my birthday, and then I stayed basically up until like June, so that was like 6 months straight, and I was like feeling like a bit like homesick and stuff. But then I left for
Hmm.
the summer, and then like I came back, and then I feel like new, like refreshed,
Mm.
energized, and so yeah, that's what
Cool.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah. So kind of rotate a little bit. Is that what you're planning on
exactly.
doing? You're gonna like, how long do you plan on spending in Dubai a year? 6 months?
Yeah. So the 6 to 8 months, and then I would spend like 4 to 5 months in like Vancouver, probably. That's like the long-term plan.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. I'm okay. One thing I really want to ask you is like, um, I think a few years ago, YouTube was like this crazy blue ocean.
Mhm.
And it was like this um if you would like spend some time in like services or like online business world, it was like a place where there was clearly a lot of novelty for people, and I think that's like very helpful when you're creating a service. Is like a new channel that can generate revenue or like be an asset for somebody, is a really good marketing service to sell. uh Now getting into YouTube is going to be a little more difficult because you're in the space, and there's a bunch of others, but what like are there any new service types or like categories or industries that you think that there are going to be some offers that are really going to kill it in over the next like 5, 10 years?
Yeah. So like aside from YouTube agencies or content, you're just asking like in the agency space as a whole?
Generally in the agency space, like what offers or services are going to be really good? You know, like maybe Facebook ads for roofers is not like the necessarily the best niche anymore. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, what service types, what industries? Yeah.
Yeah, great question. I think long term, like ad creative agencies will basically never like go broke, like as long as they're actually good at what they
Hmm.
do. I mean, you could say that
Hmm.
about any agency, which is the cool part. If you're
Yep.
like actually good at the service, like you, and there's demand for it, you'll always have money. So ad creative agencies definitely number one, because what people don't understand is like, if you're running ads, like you need a constant flow of like new creative, especially with like the
Hmm.
Antro meta update, however you pronounce that. You need like so many different angles and all this. So definitely number one, ad creative agencies. So like no media buying included, like just the creative. And
Hmm.
then number two, I would say like AI content studios. So just like generating, whether
Yep.
it's ad creatives or it's just organic media, even going into like product shots for ecom brands or like clothing brand shoots, but it's like AI, these
Hmm.
things. And then, so that's two. And then number three is like, I would say long term, like what I'm doing as well, because there's like this one Ty Lopez clip or tweet. He was saying like the two long term business models is like AI and personal brand. And although I don't know 100%
Interesting.
if like I fully agree with that, what I do know
Yeah.
is that AI and personal brand will continue. Maybe there'll be other things,
Right.
but definitely those two. And like organic content and YouTube as well, obviously like builds people's personal brands. And then we can find
Hmm.
ways to tie AI into it too. So I think those are like three things. Funny enough, those are all content related.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, you understand it very well. It makes sense. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think GEO for e-commerce is going to do really well, for example.
Mhm.
Probably because I've spent lots of time with e-commerce brands.
Yeah,
But like doing optimization inside of AI tools to improve organic rankings, um, for e-commerce seems like an obvious one that is just like waiting to be capitalized on. Um,
yeah.
Brayden, have you seen any you're really excited about, or you think are good? Like, especially for someone watching this, like there's people watching this that are already doing 7 figures a year, but there's also people watching this that are just starting.
I talked to an agent yesterday who was talking about doing GEO for their own business. So
Interesting.
I think it could, especially with Zillow's integration in ChatGPT, that could be an interesting route. I
Hmm.
I personally think there's a huge opportunity for AI to take over a lot of the agent like process in general, real estate agents as
Right.
a whole. So just automating that entire process. I'd say 80% of the sale is pricing, pictures. It's not like this crazy marketing or anything. And I think that's something that can easily be replaced and bring agent fees like 3 times lower.
That's cool. Well, what do you guys think about the AI automation agencies? Because that was a bit of a trend this year. It seems to be dying out already, but like that's
N8N?
like
Oh,
that's
that's
like the hottest course right now, you know?
Yeah. So my take on it is that like the way that these course sellers are marketing it is just so wrong. Like instead it should just be like sell already winning offers like email marketing or ad creatives or YouTube agency or this or that, and then power the fulfillment by AI. but
Right.
like instead
Right.
of going and being like, oh, I'm going to build you a AI chatbot for your gym, and you're selling to these like poor people. So one of our clients actually, he's like pushing an offer. It's called like AI assisted agency, and like he just did the launch, and
Yep.
it's been like super fat, just off of like
Oh, that's
YouTube
cool.
email list
Yeah.
plus like some ads. So
Yeah.
that's my take on it, but would love to hear what you guys think.
AI assistants, like genuinely like executive assistants, but done a lot with AI would be an interesting offer, to be fair.
Yeah.
Where it's like, let's say you might pay like 100,000 a year for a really good executive assistant. Maybe you've got a $3,000 a month service that adds like some human labor plus some AI automation and good tooling. Um, but yeah, I agree with you. AI automation
Hmm.
just generally as a category doesn't really make sense. Like the
Yeah,
the the idea is kind of flawed. You should take something already working and then optimize it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. Um, can we hire you to run OB, our YouTube, our podcast?
Like,
Can we do a deal on the
y-
podcast?
He needs some help.
on the podcast. So like I'm a very transparent guy. Like I mean, I thought we were gonna talk
Yeah.
about this off camera. Like we've never done podcasts like done for you, I think. Like maybe we've
Okay.
done like some clipping for like a podcast. So I have no
Yeah.
previous track record for scaling up a podcast. We do like talk and head videos. So I'd have to
Yeah.
like scheme on it and think on it a bit more, make sure I can actually like fulfill on
Cool.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk off camera, but that would be cool. I don't know
Yeah.
if I think you watch one or two of these and they could do with some love. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, they're cool. Like
I love
what's the
it.
plan
Yeah.
long term with the podcast and what was the motivation behind starting it?
Brayden and I dedicated 4 hours a week on Saturdays to essentially like taking everything that we've learned and sharing that, like teaching that to others. Um, but we've kind of structured it differently. Like um uh we accept one person a month. We work with them for multiple years. We guarantee that we'll get them to 100K a month in profit. Um, and we just like sit and get very deep into their business, go through all of the numbers, go through all of the structures, systems, etc. And off the back of that, we just started doing a podcast, and weirdly enough, this podcast gets like no views, but it has a decent amount of applicants that come from it. Um,
Hmm.
so that kind of runs the funnel. We've been doing this for about a year now, and we've like it's gotten very high quality, which is cool.
And I think
So
Okay.
yeah,
the
yeah,
the podcast is a good angle as well. Like, you see a lot of people do like lifestyle marketing, right?
Yeah.
I think the goal with the podcast or just the style of content that we have is to attract the right agency owner or the right service-based business owner, not someone who's like wants like 100K a month in 2 months, guaranteed and all that sort of stuff with no work. So this style of content normally does well for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We're just trying to
Yeah.
like communicate that through this like long form style. Generally, like we're very bullish on agencies. We want to build and improve systems that grow agencies over time. We see that as like a
Mhm.
very valuable asset. And we started doing some equity deals with people that are coming into the group. So we're just going to do more of those. And
Dope.
the cool thing is like the thesis is we can help people grow an agency to 100K a month, and we can then help them cash flow it or sell it or continue to run it. So at that point,
Hmm.
like, you're probably in a position to be able to like hire someone to run the agency. Or if you're at a million a month in a million a year in profit with solid margins, let's say above 40% net, you've got a 3 million, $4 million business there. So it's like, it's an actual valuable asset that can be sold if you want to. Um, you can cash flow it or you can keep growing. Like at that point, you're not that far away from being able to have a 10 million, $20 million company. Um,
Hmm.
so we've built like kind of like the stages that are required. Like there's a small group, there's a larger group, there's a group for people above 100K a month. And then we have like a CEO training program as well, where we place CEOs and we train the CEOs to run the businesses that we've just worked with for a while. Um,
Okay.
so
Dope.
yeah. It's
Yeah, that's cool.
it's a little different take. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool
Yeah.
also that you have like I didn't know the podcast was like bringing in leads and like quality applicants. That's sick. But yeah, I think what you guys
It's
have
kind of
going on
crazy.
is dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
One
Cool.
one question for you, I guess,
Yeah.
Zach, or Brandon, how did you guys meet? Did you work together at like Flax or how did that happen?
You want to let him know, Zach?
You go for it, dude.
So, my agency, when I think I was on my second I just had started the like third agency, even though I really did start the first two. And I was like, I mean, I had like four free trial clients, but like no paid. And funny you said earlier on in the episode, you're like, you have to kind of hit that point where you really need to make something work out. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where I was at with the agency. Um, and I watched a Dylan Wilson video, and Zach was in there, and I was like, dang,
Yeah.
this guy seems like he could get some helpful advice. So my plan was I was gonna ditch the agency for like a couple of months, like still work on it, but I was gonna go be like a sales rep to learn sales, make money, and then go back to the agency. So I cold called Zach one, I think it was one random morning. What
It
like
was like 6 a.m.
six?
I don't usually get up. I've gone through stints, but I'm usually
Yeah.
getting up at like 8 to 9 a.m.
So I rung him bright and early, 2 hours, 2 hours behind me. And I was like, yo, I want to be a sales rep or something. And then he asked me what I actually want to do. Kind of went down this rabbit hole. And he was like, you want to actually run the agency, don't you? And that is what I wanted to do. And then he just started giving me advice here and there. Like I think he gave me one piece of advice over text. I gave implemented it, updated him like 2 weeks later, and they gave me another thing, and they told me to charge. And like for like months and months, he just said charge more, charge more. And then we slowly started scaling up, scaling up, scaling up. And then as it scaled up even further, he started working with me more in depth, and that's where we kind of got the idea for OB. So
So
not your
Yeah.
yeah.
traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We were
sick.
like, we can save people a few years of like mistakes and just like
Yeah,
teach them how to run a good business. And
yeah.
Braden and I did that together, and we were like, huh, it's easy to do, and we like doing it, and it's almost like good practice for like running our actual businesses. So we're not
Hmm.
gonna like spend our entire lives on it, but 4 hours on a Saturday seems like plentiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. You
yeah,
also like learn a lot, like you said, like just helping other people, you learn things. Like that's also what I went through with the coaching program. Like I would help people solve problems and then I was learning through them as well. So
yeah.
yeah, that's dope.
You learn how to
Hell yeah,
teach. You learn. You can sometimes also remind yourself of things you already know, but you
Yeah.
just have to say them. So
Yeah,
oh yeah.
exactly. So
Cool.
then, wait, Zach, I have a question for you then. So,
Hit me.
what would you say to like an agency that's at like 2 mil a year, like they want to get
Yeah,
up to like let's say like they want to double up to like 4 mil. What do you feel like
yeah.
some main changes, like very general question that what do they have to do to scale up from there?
Um, Braden's not quite at this scale, but I feel like so a couple of things. The first is like I think you should be lean. I think there's a lot of like conventional advice right now that says you should expect to like kill your profit margin. Um, and every time I've tried this a lot, like I tried this quite a few times as I was like trying to push scale. And I just found that when I did that, I didn't grow as quickly. And actually, the times that I grew the fastest was when I was very focused on being very lean and focused on being very economical. Um, and I was strict about margins. So I almost like set higher margin targets. So at OB, we run a 70, 60, 50 margin target. So it's basically 70% gross margin, 60% margin after marketing and sales are baked in, and then 50% net. So you've got 10% for OPEX, you've got 10% for marketing and sales. So many people go and spend like 50% of their their revenue on ads or like marketing and stuff, and it's really tempting to do that because it's like, oh my god, I'm getting great return, I'm making money. I've got 2x or 3x. I spent 50K and I acquired 50,000 in new MRR, and so therefore that was a great month because they're gonna recur. But like you kind of like get stuck in this hamster wheel of always having low margins, and using that as justification, or like using the justification of, oh, I'm growing and scaling. And I realized that that was kind of flawed. And then every time I kind of like um, peel back spending and I'm stricter with everything, the agency grows faster. And I like noticed this weird trend. I was like, hey, how does this keep happening? It seems counterintuitive because everyone's like reinvesting growth. So I used to be very bullish on reinvesting in growth, and I think to an extent it's a good thing. Like ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, we're all going to be building businesses for 50 to 70 more years, and losing a couple of $1 million on some experiments right now is probably worthwhile learning. Um, but ultimately, I think what I learned through that process, and one of the biggest things, was if I force myself to have higher margins, then I have to find more optimized workflows. I have to train talent better. I have to like spend time building good culture. I have to spend time like more time with clients, like really make sure that we have low churn, et cetera, et cetera. So. that was like that's the first part, and then the second part is once you have good margins and good efficiency, you can actually afford to go out there and spend 200,000 a year on someone's salary, and I think you should do that. And like this is partially because I like run a venture-backed company now, and we have like lots of money to spend on talent, and like that's one of the primary reasons you raise is you kind of remove the debt, the talent debt, because you can afford to pay people. Um, but the yeah, the thing I think you should do, and Braden just went and did this for his business. Like, you hire someone like with way more experience, like someone has ran ops or someone that's been a CRO at $100 million plus company, because you get so much learning from them, and you'll lean enough to the point where you can bring on just one person that's really really good, and they essentially can do what 5 to 10 people can. And what I found with Flax is like if we were like pushing to we wanted to push and scale up to 1 million a month, and I looked at everything and I was like, I'm going to be at 1 million a month with 300 people on the team or 200 people on the team, and this is like so operationally complex for what the business is. That actually we should just try to be like we should try to have 50 people on the team at that scale, which is like much more difficult to do. If you look at typically how agencies are built, but if you go, oh, hang on a second, um, if I have 50 people that are all making 200,000 a year or whatever it is, like I can build a really, really, really solid team out of that. And you don't necessarily need everyone to be like you probably can't afford to pay everyone that much, but you can have some of your like directors and some of the people that are really responsible for building parts of the business. If you can hire that level of talent, then they already know what to do with teams. Like you'll still learn it. All of us here, like we're too young to have loads of management experience. We don't know what managing a business looks like for 20 years at a massive scale with thousands of people. Um, but those people do, and you can bring them into a business. And I kind of forgot that they existed for a second. I was like, how does Elon do it? Like, I don't get it. And then I was like, oh, right. Like the people that he's hiring are going and starting when they leave Tesla or they leave OpenAI, they go and start $10 billion companies. They were pretty good to begin with. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That would be one of my recommendations is if you can be lean enough, like hire someone that can come in at 100K a year and like have the opportunity for bonuses and commissions or something that can get them into the 200, 300 range. You'll get a lot of very experienced people that are very excited to do that and excited to like build in a company where they have the ability to be very autonomous. And it also takes so much work off of your plate. Like it really like there are just going to be things that you don't know how to do, and they'll find ways to make things more efficient that you couldn't have even dreamt of. Yeah, yeah, cool. All right, let's wrap up there. It was great to have you on, but and thanks so much for the time. That was fun.
There we
Let's
go.
do it.